There are 128 craftable weapons, but only a handful of them are actually good. So let's look at all the weapons worth crafting so you can decide what to grind for and what to stay away from. Starting with Amit. This is a solar auto rifle that gets really good perks for both PvP and PvE. What most people use in Crucible is enhanced dynamic sway reduction and tap the trigger to turn this into a laser, but it's also one of the best weapons in PvE if you get enhanced incandescent. This will spread scorch with every kill, so you can create huge explosions and do some fun combos with solar subclasses. However, there is another similar weapon that also fills this role. The new Abyss Defiant can be crafted with enhanced incandescent, and it has access to reconstruction in the other column. This will reload your weapon over time and up to double capacity, meaning this can hold over 60 rounds at a time. It also has access to target lock, one of the best damage perks for high-end content, and just so happens to have a lot of synergy with reconstruction, since you need a large magazine to get the most out of the perk. You can also get this target lock roll on another auto rifle called Rufus's Fury. This is a strand auto that gets reconstruction target lock. Once again, you'll have a large magazine that can take full advantage of the buff from target lock. Or if you want this for a strand build, you could also go with Demolitionist plus Hatchling for faster grenades and threadlings. All three of these autos are worth crafting, but I will say Amit is the easiest to obtain, Rufus works with any build, and Abyss Defiant is a combination of the two, giving you your choice of incandescent or target lock. For craftable bows, there's only really one good option, Tripwire Canary. This is the best bow because it has access to two really good rolls. The first is Archer's Tempo and Frenzy to shoot faster and deal more damage almost all of the time. This makes it great for GMs and other high-end content. The other roll to consider is Dragonfly and Frenzy. This will make it good for ad clear while still retaining that easy to activate damage buff. There are so many good hand cannons, but there are only two that I'd say need to be crafted. But first, this video is sponsored by Factor. Factor offers delicious meals that are fresh and ready to eat in only 2 minutes. All you have to do is pick which meals you want on their website, then in less than a week, you'll receive your box. Then you just grab a meal, poke some holes in it, put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and it's ready to eat. Factor is quicker, healthier, and cheaper than ordering takeout, so it's perfect for those of us that want to get back to playing Destiny. And since it's all pre-packaged, you don't have to waste any time cooking, and there's no cleanup necessary. And they have all kinds of meals to choose from, with their rotating weekly menu of over 34 meal options, from chorizo chili to filet mignon with shrimp. They also have over 36 add-ons like smoothies, desserts, and more that you can add to any box. I've used Factor for about a year now, and I genuinely enjoy every single meal. Use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code POGMARSEP50 for 50% off your first box. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code here on your phone. Check it out right now so you don't miss out on this massive deal. I know you'll love it. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video. The first hand cannon to craft is Zauli's Bane. This is a solar hand cannon that gets explosive payload in the first column and a variety of damage options in the second column. Explosive payload is essentially a small damage buff, so being able to pair this with other things like enhanced surrounded, enhanced one for all, firefly, or even incandescent makes this a game changer. I went with incandescent, and this is basically Sunshot's little brother. It's so good. The other hand cannon worth crafting is Word of Crota. It is a 180 RPM, which most people don't like in PvE, but it gets some really strong perks that make up for that. It gets rolls like Dragonfly Rampage, Repulsor Brace to stabilizing rounds, Demolitionist Adrenaline Junkie, and so much more. But what sets this apart from all the others is its origin trait. Getting a single melee kill will cause kills with this weapon to create a Curse Thrall explosion, just like Necrochasm. This makes it a monster for ad clear. Then this just gets stupid when you factor in the other perks. I ended up with Dragonfly and a new perk called Sword Logic, which is like Rampage, but a little bit different, and this might be my favorite weapon right now. For pulse rifles, only one thing stands out to me, and that's Oversoul Edict. This is basically Word of Crota, the pulse rifle. This also gets the Curse Thrall origin trait, so it's already good, but then you can also get Volt Shot for chain lightning on top of the Curse Thrall explosions. This is easily the best pulse rifle in the game right now, and nothing else even comes close. Now on to scout rifles. When it comes to lower level content, Tarnished Metal is the king of scouts. This gets Volt Shot, allowing you to easily jolt enemies, meaning it has amazing ad clear, deals really good damage to majors, and even stuns overload champions. However, if you're looking for a scout to take into a GM, look no further than Doom of Chelchis. This scout rifle gets 2 damage perks, and they're both really easy to get going. In the first column, you can get either explosive payload or Vorpal weapon. These do about the same thing, but I prefer explosive payload because it'll affect all enemies, whereas Vorpal only affects bosses. Then for the second column, we have a bunch of good options, but my favorite is Frenzy. This will be active almost all of the time, so between this and explosive payload, you'll have about a 30% damage buff constantly. And that's before you factor in weapon surges, radiance, or even volatile rounds because this is a void weapon. There are two craftable sidearms that are good. Drang because it gets incandescent, and Brigand's Law because it gets Feeding Frenzy and Volt Shot. At this point, it's self-explanatory why these are good. And the best SMGs are basically the same as the sidearms. Kala's Mini Tool because it has incandescent, and Ikelos SMG because it has Feeding Frenzy and Volt Shot. And keep in mind, these can be the enhanced versions of the perks, which makes them even better than normal weapons. Another SMG that stands out though is Osteostriga. This is a craftable exotic that spreads poison after kills. This is amazing for ad clear, and it has extra synergy when paired with Necrotic Grip. This combo makes poison kills from Osteo chain to other enemies, and when those enemies die, they will also chain, and that poison will spread to the entire room until everything is dead. The only fusion rifle worth crafting is the Eremite. This can get Reservoir Burst, which makes the first shot of the magazine deal a lot more damage and create explosions with kills. But when you craft it with Envious Assassin, you'll be able to easily overfill the magazine. You want this because every shot above the base magazine has Reservoir Burst, so you can store up a ton of really powerful shots, then use them to damage a boss or clear a bunch of ads. I honestly don't think any glaives are really worth crafting. For the most part, a glaive is a glaive, so just use whatever you have and save your resources for something else, like Pardon Our Dust. This grenade launcher is really strong in high level content, allowing you to blind enemies with disorienting grenades. Then you can throw an auto-loading holster to make it reload itself while you're shooting the blinded enemies with your other weapon. And it even gets Vorpal to deal more damage to bosses. I can't think of a better grenade launcher for crowd control. Actually, I take that back, because Forbearance is the king of crowd control, because it just kills everything. Just shoot the ground and this will send out a wave that deals a good bit of damage. Then with Chain Reaction, everything killed by this will explode. And it gets even better because it also gets Ambitious Assassin to give you 2 grenades at once. Honestly, if you only have the resources to craft one weapon, this is the weapon. The best shotgun on this list is definitely Wastelander. This gets all the perks you want on a shotgun, like Trench Barrel, Vorpal, and 1-2 Punch. But it also gets Lead from Gold in the first column. This will give you additional special ammo when you pick up heavy ammo. This gives you a more consistent source of ammo, which is a must-have when running double specials. I crafted mine with 1-2 Punch, and this is my go-to weapon when running my combination blow hunter build. When it comes to snipers, I have 2 favorites. The first is Succession. This is a high-impact sniper that gets Reconstruction and Vorpal weapon. Each shot hits hard, and thanks to Reconstruction, it can hold up to 8 rounds at a time. Then for the other sniper, it allows you to shoot around 60 shots without reloading, which is unheard of on any other sniper. But if you are enjoying this video, be sure to leave a like and let me know your favorite crafted weapon in the comments. Supremacy can get rewind rounds, and 4th time's the charm. This combo makes it so every 4 shots, you get 2 ammo back. Then you can continue shooting, and rewind will reload it again and again until you eventually run out of ammo in your reserves around 60 shots. Most of which were created out of thin air. Because it shoots so fast and gets so many shots, this makes it amazing for bosses. Out of the 4 craftable trace rifles, the only one really worth crafting is Hollow Denial. Trace rifles are the best when paired with a second special weapon, but ammo can become a problem. Well, with this trace rifle, you can get Lead from Gold, which gives you a more consistent source of ammo. And it also gets another really strong perk called Killing Tally, which is only available on this trace rifle and a few machine guns. This is basically the same as Rampage, but a little bit better because the buff doesn't go away until you swap weapons or reload. This makes it great for ad clear, and it's really easy to slot into any build since you can more reliably run double special weapons. For heavy grenade launchers, these all suck. If you're going to use a heavy grenade launcher, use either like Wendigo or the Trials one with bait and switch. There are 2 linear fusions that I think are must-haves. The first is Taipan. This gets triple tap, so it's really ammo efficient. And it also gets Firing Line for more damage. In raids, dungeons, and nightfalls, Firing Line will almost always be active. And triple tap means you get to shoot a lot of free shots without ever having to reload. Now, Taipan is really easy to use, but there is another linear that's similar, but a little bit better, and it takes a little extra setup. That weapon is Cataclysmic. This gets 4th times the charm, which is the same as triple tap, but better. And it also gets bait and switch. which deals even more damage than Firing Line. You only really need one of these fusions, so go with Cataclysmic if you can, or Taipan for an easy to use and easy to get alternative. There are a lot of great machine guns, but the best one for pure damage output is definitely Retrofit Escapade. This gets 4th times the charm and target lock. Target lock will increase your damage the longer you shoot a target, and 4th times the charm will allow you to shoot for longer by giving you free ammo out of thin air. Very good for bosses with big crit spots, or any boss with a divinity bubble. Another machine gun that's good for boss damage is Song of Ute. This also gets target lock for extra damage, but this time you can pair it with rewind rounds to easily shoot around 140 shots without ever having to reload. This means you can take full advantage of target lock, or if you don't want that, you could also go with bait and switch. This perk increases your damage by 35%, so you'll be getting a lot more damage out of each shot. But if you're looking for a machine gun that has good ad clear potential, you'll definitely want Commemoration. This can get reconstruction to reload over time up to double capacity. This is a machine gun, so that means you can easily get 120 plus rounds at a time. Pair that with Killing Tally to increase your damage after every kill, and you can shred through most things. There are so many great rockets, but the best craftable one is definitely Apex Predator. This gets reconstruction to give you 2 rockets at once, and you can pair that with bait and switch, one of the highest damage buffs in the game. This is great for DPS phases, especially when using something like Wither Horde to help activate bait and switch, and deal damage in the background too. Now, for swords, you can actually craft the hardest hitting sword in the game, Bequest. This has the highest impact in the game, and it can get Surrounded, which is the highest damage perk on swords at 40%. But it's actually higher than that because you can get Enhanced Surrounded to make it a 47% damage buff. Pair that with Relentless Strikes, and you can melt raid bosses with only light attacks. This comes from the Deepstone Crypt raid, but you can also farm for it and deep sight versions of it completely solo. So you'll have to check out this video to see how. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time.